What's going on, everybody? Gleez here, and in this video we're going to get to my review and take on the new God of War. So the new God of War 4, is one amazingly epic experience. The lands and areas to explore are vast, and you battle crazy demons and gods of Norse mythology. The precision and detail in the environments help set the dark tone of the game. The monsters seem to come at you in swarms and are relentless in their pursuit of your death. Now, Kratos takes on a different role in this title. Gone are the days of the ruthless killer who will slay anyone and everything in his path of revenge. This is a Kratos that's a bit softer, or at least he tries to be. Kratos seems to struggle with balancing his killer instinct while trying to be a role model for his son Atreus. The game's story is centered around Kratos developing his young son into the mature, capable adult god that could be revered by all. Atreus is ambitious in his want to become a fierce warrior. Kratos is always having to inform him that he isn't ready and that his skills are barely making the grade. Like most young people, Atreus at times has an inflated sense of self, and this is only exacerbated once he learns that he is actually a god. The ultimate goal in this game is for Kratos and Atreus to reach the highest point in the land and release Faye's ashes. Faye is Kratos' wife and also Atreus' mother. You can tell through the dialogue of the game that Faye and Atreus were extremely close, while Kratos seems to have always been quite distant. Kratos struggles with his new responsibilities as a single father and having to be the sole caretaker for his young son. I feel this dynamic is the best part in the game. Watching the relationship between Atreus and Kratos grow is amazing and unlike anything I've ever experienced in a game. The best thing about the tale is the way that the writers can use simple one-word responses or sometimes even sounds that can display so much feeling between the two characters. Sometimes the lack of response is more significant than an actual response with words. The directors and writers of this game should truly commend themselves for their work in this regard. As far as the supporting cast goes of the game, the weapon makers Brock and Sindri have huge personalities and do a great job contrasting the somewhat more subtle type of personalities that Atreus and Kratos both have. Mimir, or the Head, also creates some welcomed comic relief. The stranger that you meet at the very beginning of the game pops up numerous times throughout your experience. I found him to be one of the weaker characters in the game. He just seems to be a bit lackluster for being the main villain in such an epic title. I'll speak more on this when I discuss my opinion on the finale of the game later in the video. So let's talk about the gameplay. The combat system is great. It reminds me a lot of For Honor and how the combat is executed. You have light and a heavy attack along with a guard break. You can dodge and jump out of the way of attacks, and these dodge moves have frames of invincibility that will keep you safe if you time them properly. A precisely timed block can allow you to parry and advance attacks on your opponent or even reflect projectiles. As you move forward in the game, you use XP to develop different skills and unlock new attributes. Your weapons also have slots to add relics that add different types of power-ups to your character. The customization makes the battle system truly epic. If you want to enhance certain weapons for a specific area in the game that contains specific enemies, you can do that. Also, if you like to play a specific way, you can always line up all of your weaponry to cater to your specific type of playstyle. God of War mastered this system and is displayed in a fantastic way. The customizations seem almost endless. So at this part of the video, we're going to get into some major spoilers that happen toward the end of the game. Now, if you haven't seen the ends and want to come back after you've played the game all the way through, just click that subscribe button, favorite the video, and come back once you've completed the game. So I have mixed feelings about the ending of the game, and I'm going to discuss some of the things that went through my mind as I completed the title. I will say that the lead up to the ending was amazing. We learned the stranger's name is Baldur, and that Freya is actually Baldur's mother. We also learned that she put a spell on him to make him immortal and caused him to never feel pain. Now, as a parent, you can kind of understand why they would want that for their kid, but Baldur despises his mother for this. He wants to be more human, he wants to feel things, and this creates a theme of realizing that without the bad, you truly can't appreciate all of the good. It also further elaborates on the theme of parent-child relationships between gods and how oftentimes these seem to falter. The end battle with Baldur is pretty good. He changes forms and forces you to alternate between your blades and your axe. The axe being ice and the blades being fire are a perfect complement to one another and contrast the forms in which Baldur alternates between. Freya tries to stop Kratos from killing her son and ultimately tries to give up her own life in order to stop Baldur from going ballistic and giving him some kind of peace. Kratos wants nothing of this, and he grabs Baldur, and right before he snaps his neck, he says this to Atreus.
The Sigolians here must be better than this.
No, my boy! My dear sweet boy!
Freya then announces that she will get revenge on Kratos for killing her son. Kratos and Atreus then move on to the land of the giants and spread the mother's ashes. The lead up to this scene is awesome. It has the feeling that there's going to be some type of huge boss battle coming up. You scale the steps in a cinematic fashion where the game changes camera angle and forces you to walk at a certain pace, and you think to yourself, maybe this is where I finally battle Odin. Odin is referenced multiple times throughout this game. The way that he's discussed, it seems as though he's going to be the ultimate final boss. Now, as you reach the top of the steps, you find drawings that were left on the wall from Atreus' mother. You learn that she was actually a mortal giant and had some sort of altercation or disagreement with the rest of the giants and was forced to leave the land or left on her own volition. It's really not quite clear. You also learn that she could tell the future, and she knew of the entire family's fate as documented on the wall. We also learned that Atreus was originally named Loki. Loki in Norse mythology winds up fighting Odin and Thor. So this battle with Odin is looking ever so promising at this point in the game. We then make our way to the top of the mountain, let the ashes go in a great cinematic sequence where Kratos finally calls Atreus son instead of boy, and then the credits roll. No Odin. This left me feeling pretty disappointed, honestly. I felt like there should have been another boss battle, but nevertheless, seeing the relationship blossom between Kratos and his son Atreus was a great finale, especially since the bonding came while doing something as significant as completing their main objective, which was spreading the ashes of Atreus' mother. Overall, I think God of War is a game for the ages. It's one of the best games ever made. This will be a game that you see on top 10 or even top 5 game lists for decades to come. The direction, writing, gameplay, and attention to detail are spot on 10 out of 10. The side quests and unlockables at the end of the game are quite impressive as well. Because of this, the game packs replay value and can be a great challenge, especially when played on the highest difficulty. Despite personally being somewhat disappointed with the ending, it sets up for epic battles in the future and many sequels to come. And that is something I can get behind. So if you want to watch me go through all of these side quests as well as play God of War on the highest difficulty setting, be sure to click the subscribe button and head over to my Twitch channel and make sure you follow so you know when I go live. Links as always can be found in the description below. So my question to you is, what did you think of God of War? Leave a comment down below and let me know your take on all the aspects of the game. I would love to hear it. So as always, I want to thank you for checking in. It's Gleez signing out, and continue to game strong.